No, not really.
No. I don't think they will ban Morgana unless they lose this game. Because, of course, I think I will break it out, okay? I think yoeWolves will pick Morgana. And, of course, if they win this game, they're going to get Morgana banned.
Surely taking away like a Rek'Sai or a Nao is more important than a Morgana.
Yeah, of course, not first pick.
Yeah.
Not first pick.
Yeah.
But you have to think about the fact that TPA doesn't prioritize Morgana. And if they do right now, it's a mistake. Because you don't pick to screw the opponent. You pick because you have a game plan. You know?
Yeah. Well,
pick it to screw the opponent is a mistake.
I was going to say, it's Nao or Rek'Sai they can go for here because they can only ban one. It's going to ban Aurelia. It does mean that surely Nao will get locked in straight away. And that gives options to Type A Assassins. Will they go Rek'Sai? Will they take that away when obviously Wins has been playing Jarvan non-stop? It seems that they will.
Yeah, the obvious choice. If you first pick Nao and you leave up those two, like Rek'Sai is the better jungler out of it. And if you don't pick Lissandra here, you give them the chance to actually go for the Jarvan Lissandra Na combo, which we saw is complete. Like there's not much you can do. It's just too powerful. So I like the drafts from TPA, the first rotation. I completely agree with that. And if they lock in that casting can be very good actually here.
Don't you think even though Rek'Sai is actually really strong, wouldn't have you picked Jarvan plus Lissandra and wait for the Gnar top? Because that combo is brilliant actually.
It is, but the thing is, you can also use the enemy Jarvan, the ultimate, to actually make a zone for you as Gnar. That's one thing.
Yeah,
that
dangerous.
Jarvan is still in the game, you know, even if it's the enemy, he still creates a zone, and you can use the enemy zone. That's why Jarvan is actually, it's a bit dangerous to pick it into it, and some teams actually tend to not pick Jarvan into Gnar, simply because of that reason.
Yeah.
Because the enemy, even if it's the enemy, he still creates the zone for you. And if you're not very careful, you can actually completely ruin the entire team.
And we've seen a lot of jugglers. They're like, I was just helping. I managed to got my Cataclysm in there. I don't know what was wrong. And suddenly we're all slammed against the wall. But yeah, Corki being picked in, shock, surprise. We're going to see Morgana as well from Sword Art once again. It does, of course, leave a lot of options over for the Type A Assassins.
Kalista is not open, right? Yes?
Yeah, no, it is.
I think her passive is a bit bugged right now, so it makes auto-attacking very, very hard to play. And they actually fixed that bug, I believe, in the next patch. So that's why we don't see a lot of Kalista play in that patch, in the 5.1 patch.
5.1, yeah.
But yeah, she's very, very good, and is gonna be a very contended pick in the 5.2.
It's a flex pick here, because you can use Lulu top lane, mid lane, and support. Yep. Same goes for Lissandra, except support, of course. But yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. Some people is playing Lulu support lately. I think it's a very good pick in some situations. Yeah, I think it's good against Morgana, actually. Really good against Morgana.
Yeah, N-Rated played like 3 out of 3 games on Lulu, I believe, so far.
Yes.
And yeah, he's having a lot of success on it.
Well, we are going to see the Jarvan pick up for Karsa. So we have that Gnar Jarvan combo once again. You know, it's always a tricky one. It's like you either pick it away from them or you let them have it. Instead, they are going to allow them to have it. And we may even see Kassadin in the mid lane, currently being hovered over for Maple.
I don't like Morgana with this setup this much. I mean, that much, you know. It's not the same having Morgana with Sherath, etc., than having Morgana with Kassadin and whatnot. It's not the same kind of setup. You really rely on hitting those Qs with this current setup. And Kassadin blind is actually the right thing to do on the other hand side. So I think they were just tricked by their own pick phase.
So what's left open against the Kassadin right now? What would you pick as, like, if you're in TPA's position, what would you pick right now? Would you send the Lulu mid lane right now and pick another support, or?
There's
a Jace on the other hand, right?
Weird, yeah.
There's a Jace, but I'm not sure if TPA plays it.
LeBlanc.
LeBlanc is bad because Kassadin completely hard counters LeBlanc, and you're already in a position where you need to make sure that you have 2 winning lanes at least. And I'm not sure if Lissandra wins the top lane against Gnar. Tristana needs some ramp up time in this weaker, then okay, they actually go with the support Nami here.
What, this is weird, man.
Nami's pretty good to disengage, and I think it can work out if they make sure that the AD carry or the
this is actually brilliant. Actually, it's actually,
I like it.
Brilliant.
I think
you've got really good
pure
crowd
late
control.
game. Like this setup is actually pure late game. Like look at that. They have so much stuff for the moment to protect Tristana. Not the protection itself, but the fact that Lissandra goes in and she makes everyone look at her and attack her at the end, you know? So Tristana is actually free, plus Lulu, plus the Nami control in the teamfight. I think it's perfect, actually.
Yeah. Nami and Tristana have been a very good lane, and I think if you play the lane out correctly, Nami has been a counter to Morgana. Even if you you just out-sustain the lane. And even if a Corki is in the enemy team, Corki is supposed to win like lane, but that Nami actually does a lot of good stuff against the Morgana. And yeah, you can block the spell, like the bubble with the spell shield, but it's just a sustain that allows you to actually win the game. And they have a lot of all-in potential. Tristana can just jump in on a Morgana or something in the lane, and maybe we can see a kill here again.
Well, I mean, one thing's for sure, TPA have a lot of engage and disengage. Whatever they want to do, they can control the situation. While you might see the Jarvan Gnar trying to go in there, a quick wave will separate that, and immediately you've got not only the pop-up of a normal Rek'Sai, you've got the wild growth to follow, so you've got the double pop-up, and that's a lot of CC, because bouncing in the air is often quicker than a simple stun.
Yep, both teams have a very flexible team comp. I mean, Flash Wolves can go for picks with the Kassadin and Jarvan together, or they can go for a team fight, so they can also go for a siege if the Corki has the Triforce completed and they just group up in mid lane. So I actually like both team comps, and we have to see how everything turns out again in the early game and how they play it out afterwards and how they use their advantages.
I also feel like TPA have got more variability in the tactical decisions that they're making in their comps. And I mean, if you look at Yoe, there's not much difference in what they're going for after each game, which I know might be making them easy to read.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. TPA, they didn't adjust very well in the last matchup, but they've absolutely adjusted this time around. Clearly, they've gone through exactly what Yoe Flash Wolves went with, which is a very similar tactic once again. They've basically traded Jarvan for Rek'Sai, and the mid laner they've traded Jace for Kassadin, but that's it. So, other than that, they're going to be playing the exact same style.
At the beginning, I thought they had a game plan with Morgana, but I think they just play Morgana because he's best champion. There is every game is just changes, you know, the way they play the.
So actually, we have a Lissandra mid lane right now instead of top lane. I thought it was a Lulu mid lane against the Kassadin, but I'm not sure how that matchup works out, but Kassadin should be highly favored in that matchup too, and he should have actually like free farm in the mid lane and has no problems whatsoever to farm.
Well, we are getting underway here. It is the fourth match in this best of 5 series. Currently, Yoe Flash Wolves trailing 2-1 to the Taipei Assassins. Quick roster rundown for you guys if you're unfamiliar with these names. Stake is the top laner, big giant afro hair. You may have seen him before at the Season 3 World Championships for the Gamina Bears. He is playing Gnar. Karsa alongside him as the jungler on Jarvan. Maple in the mid lane, also from the Season 3 World Championships for the Gamina Bears on Kassadin. Alongside them is another 2 members from the Gamina Bears. It is NL and Swordart. They are on Corki and Morgana.
And on the other side, of course, for the Taipei Assassins, Morning playing Lulu, wins on Rek'Sai in the jungle. Chowie playing Lissandra, a little bit different this time around for him in the mid lane. Lupin on Tristana, and Nami for Jay. Again, another pick that we've not seen him so far play in this tournament. So interested to really see how that one all works out for him and how this game really goes. I mean, Yoe have a chance to level up the best of 5 series with this one, and that would maybe bring a bit of doubt into the minds of the Taipei Assassins.
Yeah, certainly they've looking to be dominating this tournament, but definitely a sense of doubt in their mind in the last matchup. We'll see how aggressive the Yoe Flash Wolves try to take this one. They do, of course, have the Corki, which will have the advantage over Tristana in the early phases here, but alongside him, Nami will keep that sustain on, may cause problems for Swordart. Swordart has been on point with those dart bindings, though, so we'll see if they pay off for them.
So, push up there instantly, pretty much, in that lane. Looks like Yoe might be hitting that level 2 point a little bit quick here. Actually, nice little dodging out of those phosphorus bombs. Lupin making sure that he takes as little damage as possible in these early stages. There is level 2, but they're right on top of the tower, so shouldn't be any real problems for them. This mid lane, of course, Maple versus Chowie once again. Kassadin versus Lissandra. We'll see. Maple so far not really taking much damage and having a pretty free time of things, really, inside of that lane.
Good deep blue ward there from Swordart. Went straight up. He's going to spot out Wins, who is a lot slower in the jungle, it seems, than Karsa was. Karsa's already gone back to base once. Wins is about to do the same thing. There was... He's untouched, doesn't he? Yeah, blue buff untouched so far. So we'll see whether they go for any ganks. Red buff being started out by Karsa, so he's already been and come back. So Jarvan certainly at the moment go much quicker than Wins will on Rek'Sai.
What a lot of junglers did on this patch was they just did 4 camps instead of 3 camps, so they can just base with another ward, and we see him have like a whole
get the first upgrade as quick as possible.
Yeah, exactly. So the 4th camp actually allows it to get more vision over it. It's a bit slower, but I mean, it provides, like in the long run, it provides you with more vision and more with a better advantage. And if you can actually get a deep ward right now, it will be huge in the early game.
Well, that's what Rek'Sai is trying to do. Wins is trying to get that ward in and around. He does get onto the back of the camp. So Kassadin will be tracked, as will Jarvan. Red buff was taken away, and now we see Rek'Sai is not going to get spotted because that ward that they put down has just been cleared up. They got the thing up there. I can never remember the name of it. The thing to the right-hand side.
Yeah, it's from Rek'Sai, from smiting that wolf.
So this though
he's going to get spotted.
Be interesting.
Look at that ward, just timed out. Just
a little bit unlucky there, really. Coming in, I think they've realised that, or should have realised it by now. They've backed all the way off to the tower. They've got minions already pushed up there, so they can see that halfway point. They can see that he's not crossed. Obviously, won't know directly if he's actually recalled from that, which might bring Wins down to this bottom lane in case of if he's needed to get involved in a counter game. Actually, no, he's just going to go checking over to the Raptors. They're not actually there, though. So he's just going to go back on his merry way. Where's he going to visit? Is he going to this bottom lane? Looks like he might, and I don't think there's any wards down. No, there's no Tribush ward there, and Yoey are actually quite far up the lane here. Swordart actually is going to just have a look back there, and that means that they will be safe. Yeah, they're pinging on the Tribush, so they know he's there.
Yeah, good timing. Swordart just got a glimpse of him, just peeked around towards that Tribush, spotted the aggression clearly coming out from Lupin and Jay there, thinking, what's up here? We've been pushing them all the way back to the tower. Suddenly they're going aggressive. We are going to see the Scuttle Crab being taken down by Karsa. That's going to give them vision around that barren spot to spot out any movements in the river. They'd actually put a ping ward down up there as well, which will, of course, get cleared when Wins goes and spots it.
So Wins was actually walking through the mid lane when the minions were there, even when you had no reason to. That's a mistake that a lot of junglers do, that they just show themselves on the lane when they didn't have to. And if you look at like the top tier junglers, they will never show themselves if they don't have to. And just showing there for like a glimpse of a second gives the entire map every freedom, because they know where they are for the next 30 seconds to 1 minute. So it's actually like a misstep, I think. But we actually see a rotation here in the bot lane, maybe from the Lissandra.
Oh, there's a ward in that brush. Oh, Lissandra going to go through. Should have probably spotted the claw moving through there, though. But it could be 4 men yet. There is the ward cleared out, so they know they've been spotted and are simply going to back away. Or will it be a bit of a fake here, where they actually decide to come back after a little while? It doesn't look like it. They are, in fact, just pulling straight away from now on. So no dive onto this bottom lane, which is what we saw, funnily enough, in that last game, in game number 3, which the Yoey Flash Wolves won. And it's a pretty quiet start, I think we can safely say. 7 minutes in, no first blood as of yet. If we look down the CS, relatively even across the board. I think the AD carry is the big difference there only.
Yeah, and obviously following last matchup where we had, what, 6-7 kills by now already, it's definitely a lot quieter, that's for sure. But both these teams feeling each other out gently in this opening stage. Yoey Flash Wolves are trailing the game, so need to be cautious. And TPA, after the start of the last match, them dives on the towers, I think just had their eyes opened a little to the danger that is the Yoey Flash Wolves. They're not to be underestimated here. They've got a similar team composition for the last matchup, so maybe we're expecting some more aggression early on in the game, but instead it's been a fairly passive one. Karsa, let's see if he gives this blue buff to Maple.
Well, you'd expect he would. He's going to smite it there. And he's going to sit back a little bit this time. There he is. Good guy, jungler. Giving it over to Maple in that mid lane.
Well timed.
Look at this. Are they? No, actually no. Oh yes. Are they? No, yes, no, yes. The bottom lane's going to come up here. Yep. So they know that they've been spotted here starting off this Dragon. That might deter the TPA from doing this one. Yoey Wolves starting to move in, and Jay's actually taking a lot of damage there right away. Meanwhile, Karsa, he's going to be locked down by Chowie, but he's not quite got enough damage to finish him off.
Yeah, risky play there. Chowie effectively saving themselves there. I think yoeFW absolutely would have gone back to the Dragon themselves there after forcing Jay away from that one. Some good bindings coming out from Sword Art. He plays the champion that much. No surprise he catches them. But it does force them away. So TPA, they risked it. It didn't quite work out, but they didn't lose anything for it.
Yeah, I think TPA could have actually just taken the Dragon after the Javelin was chunked out. So maybe there was a misplay or miscommunication, because he had to flash away with 10% life. So even with everyone going back, the jungler wasn't there, so it was basically a free Dragon if TPA would have pursued.
Yeah, well, at the moment, Chowie just goes and picks up that blue buff. He's a long way to completing that Morellonomicon. We saw Maple go towards the Catalyst rather than the... in towards the Rod of Aegis rather than the Blasting Wand early on. NL taking a big burst of damage here. Lupin exhausted. We may as well see First Blood here. Forced the jump away. Sword Art instead turns it back around. Jay does finish the job. Sword Art wants to get the kill on towards him. Teleport's coming in. Lupin going to get chased. Cataclysm pancakes him in the river. Teleport was cancelled, I believe, by morning. And that now means that yoeFW are going to start the Dragon off.
Yeah, started and should be finished off here as well, to be honest. There's no one around for TPA to stop this one from happening. That is going to go down there, and well, just Nami kind of waiting off to the side, but that will be finished off. Nice little pick up there for the yoeFW Wolves. I see early game, a lot of talking still going on, a lot still to be done for the Flash Wolves to come back.
Oh, Chowie caught
level
out
this one up. Where is he? Down there.
We're not going to see it.
We're not going to see that at all.
No, not going to see that one. Chowie was pressured. Sword Art though, he's chasing on Jay. That binding was already used there, but yeah, it was actually Karsa giving a bit of grief back to Chowie for once this time around, so starting to get some aggression on him. And this is starting to open up a bit, this game. Now we're going to see potential blue steel coming out from the yoeFW Wolves.
More than a potential, it's going to be gone here. That will go over to Maple, so nicely done there. Starting to strangle TPA a little bit out of it with that Dragon pickup. Now stealing a blue buff away. Going to plan so far.
So yeah, I think it highly favors the Wolves, how the game is going right now. They have a custom 90 CS already at 10 minutes. That Rod of Aegis is gonna come in very soon, so they just have to wait it out pretty much and wait for their scaling to kick in. And the second they have two items, they can just go at them. And you see that Lulu and Lissandra, they have a lot of catch, but at the same time they don't have the damage to back it up. Or against the Cousin, you don't want to be out of position because he can just kill your entire team and chase you down pretty much.
Well, Maple in this mid lane has fell behind just a touch, but not really a great deal. You know, I'd be happy as a Kassadin keeping up with Lissandra in that mid lane in terms of farm. AD carry wise, looks like Trinity Force will get completed shortly by NL. It will be ahead, of course, the Trinity Force that actually we're seeing Lupin go. Ordinarily, Tristanas would see them pick up the average blade by now, but instead he did go straight for that BF sword and the dagger, which means he will be behind for a fair period of time here, I feel, on the Corki here.
I've just seen them looping around there as well, playing a bit of a ward game. In fact, Wins is in there, will be able to clear that one out as well. So, nice little pickup for TPA. Are they going to get more involved here, though? I don't think so. Quite happy just to get rid of that one. Maybe try something on this bottom lane, or even over the top. They are actually going to go quite aggressive there, but they didn't follow through. The claw came in, but no real problems. I think everyone a little bit scared to go just that little bit too deep and end up dying.
Yeah, I think just yoeFW were playing with them. They toyed with them while that was all happening. While they kept drawing their attention, Castle just went around and took the Raptors. And he's been sticking around in that mid lane for a long period of time. We have a pause come up here, so at the moment, I would say yoeFlash Wolves are looking good. Stakes, the one that's caused the pause, you see him waving around. Look at that, the afro stays. The headset's been on that long, it stays in position. It may actually be a hairband as well, but
I think
that's
he's wearing a
impressive.
hairband.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just defying logic. It's just like stays in position.
It's a good afro. I wish I could. Actually, my hair does.
The way it's going at the moment, Joe,
it grows outwards rather than downwards. So yeah, I can grow. Maybe like half as good as Steak's afro if I'm lucky on that. But yeah, a slow start to this one. That's
there is no hairband. It is just the headset that's kept it there. Okay. Brilliant stuff. Anyway, game's back on live. We are on pause, so let's get that back on. You can see the Type A Assassins on your screen there. They're currently 2-1 up. But yoeFlash Wolves are doing a very good job here in Game 2 at keeping the pressure on.
Farm. It's probably what Steak was complaining about, you know. Why have we not got any kills? Admins, can you figure this one out for us? What's going on? Actually, Morning and Steak are having a battle in the top lane, which, you know, we're not actually watching at this point, but both of them getting to about half HP.
Taking Raptors is obviously more important than Steak and Morning basically both going down to a quarter health. Dark Binding caught on wins, and the two top laners will continue their little duel back and forward. Mid lane's been left completely unprotected. 3 members of Type A Assassins, they're going to push in and take this tower. That's a mistake by the yoeFlash Wolves.
Yeah, that is completely gone. I think they were more concerned that they were being pushed through their own jungle there and wanted to make sure that that was all headed off, all defended, and they just looped straight around, picked up the tower, first one of the game for TPA.
That was very easy. That was really a big mistake. TPA were quick to spot it as well, more importantly. Steak does turn into Meganar. Both the top laners will go back and buy. We do see the Lucidity boots being picked up with the enchant as well by Morning. Steak, meanwhile, we'll see what he goes to pick up. He hasn't gone back just yet. He's still continuing to chunk out that top lane before shoves it into the tower, then he'll go back. So Hex Drinker was the first item for him. I guess we're going to see him going a little bit more tanky as we move in. A lot of ability power on Type A Assassin's side, so it may well be a Spirit Visage. No, he is going to go for the traditional, it seems. No, there we go. Spirit Visage could well be picked up. He's gone for the I can never remember the name. It is the Spectral Cowl.
Indeed. So let's have a look down. Zadie carries BF Sword, Avarice Blade, of course, Zeal in there. So it's like the Shiv will come out first here for Lupin. And an invade onto the red buff, which will be successful as well. Wynn's taking that out. They've put a lot of focus, TPA, on this bottom side. They've been there a hell of a lot. Yeah,
they've worked hard to get that one, and it finally has paid off. Now, Maple, remember, has no tower behind him there. Was a little aggressive. Chowie with the rest of TPA are around that mid. Oh, there we go. Carcer just slid in and went, hang on a minute. Damn it, they've taken away. They're going down the bottom. We'll see NL picking up a kill on Lupin. Teleport coming in. That's going to be cancelled. Steak does not go in there. Instead, he's going to turn into Meganar. Can he get the slam on Morning? Slams him into the wall. I'm not sure if he's got enough to finish him off. Morning will try and shield himself up and scuttle away from this one. While that's all happening, Maple picks himself up a kill on Wins. We're just about catching the after effects, but nevertheless, it's 2 kills for the yoeFlash Wolves.
So yeah, very big misplay from Lupin to just get caught up by that binding and then forcing his TP, like his teammates TP. Both cancelled, and it was too overcommitted, I think.
Smite taken away, Carcer catching on. Jay caught out here. Dark Binding, not enough though, because we see the pressure coming on. Sword Art taking some damage from Chowie. He's forced to flash away from Carcer. In goes the Rift Walk, tries to catch on. Maple doing the damage back on Chowie, returning around. Jay still sticking around. This time he's eaten another Dark Binding. That will almost certainly be his demise. Lupin has respawned. This fight has been going on long enough that they will step away. The Dragon has spawned, and I think yoeFlash Wolves are going to go for it. No. Yeah, a little bit low there, a couple of guys, and actually the smite was down as well, right? Because from Carcer. Yes. There's no TPs either for the top laners, so they couldn't
smite the blue.
Really get involved in that one. But it is starting to slowly crawl the way of yoeFlash Wolves again. And TPA, they're trying to respond, but they're just not quite in the right power spikes at the moment. Lupin caught out. Obviously, Dark Binding catching him, and well, it was a good catch by Sword Art, but this is a risky one I think they might be able to sneak it away quick enough here. Only Sword Art is nearby. If he gets the steal without Dark Binding, it would be a fallacy. Instead, Wins does manage to get that one smited away.
So yeah, not a big deal that they didn't get the Dragon. They got a lot of good, like, they have like 2 kills on Corki right now, and he already completed his Sock Boots and Triforce. And that's pretty much all a result of Sword Art just hitting the most important bindings here in the game.
So 4-1 then for the Wolves. 2-1 in turrets there. We did just see another one fall. It looks like we'll be back into a bit more of a farming phase once again. People just trying to power themselves up. Looks like Stake going to be picking up the Randuins next of all. Maple also. And this is funny because Yoe, despite the amount of time that TPA spent in their red side of the jungle, they've been into TPA's blue side a considerable amount as well. This side of the map being a big focus for them. Meanwhile, Stake and Morning have just kind of been playing around up top, you know, farming themselves in there. If we look at the totals, Morning is leading the way pretty much across the entire board at this stage. So not been much focus on the top side of the map whatsoever up until now.
One thing we have seen is the fact that Stake can solo Morning, no doubt about it. Maple now coming in. This might be a full dive. He's not got Nah available, but I'm not sure. I think it's just that his presence may just try and bully him away from that one. Actually, Rift walks the opposite direction. And just trying to bully him away from that tower, and it's job done. He's had to back away from that CS.
So yeah, lots of red pings into the red area from the blue side team right now, so that pretty much tells me that TPA wants to get control over the side, which they're actually doing right now. 3 people are grouped up, and they're just gonna straight walk in and take the control back of the jungle.
Well, we'll see if they allow him to do it. Maple sidesteps, Rift walks, teleport comes in. Stake's going to join the fight. Coming round as Nah. He's going to catch on towards them. Chowie getting locked himself up. Doesn't manage to catch anyone out. Chowie will go down here. It's going to be a clean pickup. Maple will take that one. And well, TPA may have tried to focus on them, but instead it's backfired horribly.
And it's not over just yet. Flash over the wall there from Stake. Cataclysm comes down. Jay is going to fall here. NL will pick up his 3rd kill of the game. And Yoe are just running rings around the Taipei Assassins.
It's working perfectly. They've given 2 kills to Maple now on Kassadin. He's got everything to get going in this one. And like you mentioned earlier on, Corki is starting to get fed. Morning, well, he's getting a little bit of damage on this. I don't think he'll take the tower. Stake has backed off. Stake should just about get better because that minion wave will get wiped out. So Stake will be back there in time. Yoe Flash Wolves, they have advantage and they are using it very well.
So yeah, just the clear misstep from Xiaoyi right there to get caught out like this. This should never ever happen. And even if you're like playing against the Morgana, you know that they're gonna be there because they pinged it. They wanted to get the red side control, and he just got caught out, and which resulted in like 2 or 3 team deaths right now, which makes it very hard for them to actually come back right now because Carsten 2 kills on him. He's gonna go for the Abyssal against the double assassin combo, and we see that the junglers are actually not gonna build the Aegis again against double AP, which I don't agree with, but we will have to see how that works out.
Well, at least Morning doesn't have a Soul Stealer yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, he might change his mind and head towards it, you know, sell everything and just get a Soul Stealer. Let's just do that. But TPA are pushing now onto this bottom lane. And actually, that turret's at half HP, but we see them actually coming around from the side. We will see Chowie also joining in from this one. The tower going ever so low, and they will be able to take that one down. Can they land a bubble? No, they can't.
No, not going to happen. Castle was nearby on Jarvan just to keep them away, make sure they didn't push any further. Stake has wiped out that wave in the top lane, got himself the Sunfire Cape now. Starting to become this real tanky menace along with that Spectral Cowl. Morning basically he's just farming in that top lane. Can't do anything really to dent Stake. Every time he turns into Mega Gnar, he just has to back away. And that's exactly what he's doing, to the point that he dare not stick around on his tower. Look at his positioning on the minimap, completely sliding away from that one. Karsa versus Wins, jungler on jungler? Karsa actually losing out. I've been around Ocelot a little too long.
That'd be a Youngler on a Yingler.
Youngler on a Yingler. For the Yoe Flash Wolves.
Stake continuing here to hammer away, but To be honest, Morning's not having too many problems with him now. I think that's... Well, I mean, they've not really had much of a problem with each other the entire time, if we're really honest about that. There's not been much focus up there. Looping, funnily enough, will be just going around, but already warded. The Tribush did Stake, who needs to still be a little bit wary up there because he's not got a tower behind him. But so far, he is 0-0-2. We'll be feeling fairly happy. We're also going to be seeing Casa going the Warmog's direction. Ha! Soul Stealer! I told you he was going to get it before he finished anything else.
Why? I mean, he had the Void stuff basically there to build or anything. I mean, he's had that blasting one and thing, but he just went straight back and bought it flat out. Crazy.
So yeah, Dragon is about to spawn in 30 seconds, and if TPA wants to come back into this game, they need to make sure that they get the vision right now.
Oh. They are starting to...
They're nowhere near getting it. I mean, look at that wave. The wave pushing in the bottom, the wave pushed in the mid lane.
Just poor
Flash Wolf. Yeah, they've done everything they needed to with it spawning in 10 seconds time. Like, you can see NL and Sword Art already there, ready and waiting to go.
TPA even had 2 or 3 pink wards right there around the Dragon area, like 40 seconds ago or something, and they should have been there in position to make sure that they get this Dragon, or at least try to get a catch, because look at their team composition. They have a Lissandra and a Lulu. You want to make picks with that.
They've cancelled. They actually think TPA are going for Baron. They've panicked. They've panicked and rushed up here, and they pulled away from the Dragon. That's worked out very well for them, because Stake's going to go towards that top lane, which is already going to fall, and that is going to be Morning picking up the tower. This has all gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, that's really crappy for him as well, because Morning's taken the tower. He's got his TP up, so he's got the tower and he can TP down there, which Stake currently can't. He'll be coming off cooldown in a second, but if TPA rush it now, it's going to be 5v4.
Yeah,
clear misplay, for sure.
Yeah.
You see the top laner just hammering on your tier 2 tower. You know that they won't do Dragon. Look at the items. They don't have the power yet to just melt Baron.
Sword Art's going to catch a binding, not going to get followed up. Chowie was caught out. Wins goes aggressive for him. Sword Art taking a lot of damage, but the exhaust goes down on Wins. He will get away, but that may well trigger it. You can see, though, while that was all happening, yoeFW Wolves crept in the back, took down the Dragon.
Good stalling by Sword Art.
Did they not see that? I'm not sure what just happened there, but we are going to see the chase coming in. Tidal Wave does go down. Casa's going to go low, and that is Wins diving right into the middle. They're going to combo this one up, and look how low the Flash Wolves are falling. Now we'll get a good ultimate off, and that might be enough to turn it around. They've got the 4 kills, and now they're going to keep chasing on to Morning. I think Stake's already finished in this one, but Maple is going to keep chasing the whole way through. And
it's going to just force him to use the Force Pulse on Baron.
Well, he's just kind of nailed himself there.
No, he's got away. He's got away. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up.
I don't know,
he's not got the mana to Rift Walk anymore. I mean, he may have one more in him, but Morning's just going to sneak away. Maple, he's not going to catch him. Nicely played by Morning, but nonetheless, a lot of kills going Flash Wolves' way. They got the Dragon as well, and then it's now a 4-0-3 for Maple.
Like, what has just happened in this game? Like,
the most important thing is he got 3 stacks for a Soul Stealer.
Yes, yes. Void Staff was picked up as well now, so he's actually not got a bad build overall, but
can he keep the stacks? That's the question, right?
Yeah, I mean, he had the ingredients for the Void Staff, and then he finished off the Soul Stealer, so I don't know. Strange on that.
He knew what he wanted. He knew what he wanted.
Well, obviously, yeah, I mean, definitely.
But,
whether it's the right choice is a different matter on that one. But
there we go. Blue buff being gifted to Maple again. He has got his needlessly Raj rod. We're getting a bit happy here. 339 ability power now for Maple, actually. And Cassidy, 403 ahead in farm. This is spelling serious problems for Type A Assassins now.
Yeah, I don't see a way to stop Cassin right now. Even if you lock him down with the Lissandra ultimate, he has Abyssal and he's gonna have Zhonya soon, so what are you gonna do against a Cassin that can just one-on-one anyone right now? And even if you go to teamfight, you still have to deal with the Na ultimate.
Oh, look at this. They're going to try and push the top lane. When TPA, they've grouped for the mid. So they're going to try and come in numbers, shove it down. Top lane turret will go down. That's going to be the Kassadin who's beginning the split lanes push. The rest of yoeFW Wolves have responded in kind. Wins is going to get spotted out by the ward of Casa. And the rest of TPA, they've spent a hell of a lot of time in this red jungle side of yoeFW Wolves, but they're going to try and group. They're pushing the bottom lane.
Well, Morning's already there. Waves coming up behind him.
This is an inner for an inner trade at the moment. There we go. Look how quick he took that down. He's only just took the top a minute ago. He could keep going here. This is going to be a big fight.
Yeah, fight coming in there, but I think Wins is going to die. He's gone too far ahead. What was that ultimate as well? I'm not sure why you'd throw it down there. Jay's going to fall from this one. This is all a bit strange from TPA. We do in the end see Lissandra going down. The chase is on, and Kassadin is still inside of the base. He's going to take the inhibitor down here. Nara's TP'd up there.
Nara's gone up. That's going to be the inhib going down. A catastrophe for the Taipei Assassins. They tried to make a play. I don't know what they thought they could push there. Look at the grin on Snake's face. He's absolutely loving that. A complete misplay by the Taipei Assassins. They just got destroyed.
I mean, if you look at the score and how the game went, you can't stop the Kassadin. Even if you send 2 people up there, you can't deal with him. So you have to make an engage. Like, Kassadin doesn't have TP, so it's a 4-on-5 effectively. And you have to make sure that you actually get the engage.
I just watched back what Chowie did, and I think Chowie didn't mean to do what Chowie did. He kind of walked in there, cast his ultimate on himself, and then Jarvan just kind of walked out of it, and then Cataclysm right on top of his head straight after.
I think he was trying to lock up Stake because he was about to turn into Gnar, but he got the bounce, and you can't lock him up in that bounce form, I don't think. Which is what Stake was in mid-bounce form, and then immediately turned into Gnar during the bounce. Tried to lock him up, bam, and then just obviously missed it, because he literally bounced on his head, so just mistimed, and that's really been costly for them. 13-4 in kills, 5,000 gold advantage. I think we're going to be seeing a Game 5.
Well, I'm happy that we are. It's funny, we're almost going to see as many games in the final as we did throughout the rest of the tournament.
It's going to be a longer day than the last 2. Oh dear. Anyway, it's been entertaining, that's for sure. We've seen some tactical prowess from the Taipei Assassins, some magical play down the mid lane in the first 2 matches, charging down. But that Sivir ban really seems to have caught them short. They haven't been able to answer the changes that yoeFW made, and that's really the beauty of these best of 5s.
Kassadin's really getting going as well. I mean, that Abyssal, the Rod of Ages now got that. Zonya's in there as well. Not sure how they're going to actually be able to stop him at this point.
So yeah, maybe the Lissandra mid lane that wasn't the answer for Kassadin, because clearly he has a lot more CS and a lot more gold to work with than the opponent. And I would have liked to see maybe a Jace pick or something, like we saw the last game, to shut down Kassadin, because if Kassadin can just free farm in lane, he's just happy to sit there for 20 minutes and get his 2 items.
Oh, Wins has been caught out. Dark Binding will lock onto him. Jay's going to come around using the wave to try and save his jungler. Gemaple, he's not caught out. He's just baiting you in there. Uses the Zonyas. Now we're going to see another lock up. His ultimate used on himself. Oh, looked like Lupin jumped into the wall and just splatted there. And this is cleanup duty now for the yoeFW Wolves. In goes NL. Jay will fall. And just like that, 4 members of the Taipei Assassins are taken down. They were the ones that engaged, but it's the yoeFW Wolves that finished the job. Inner turret goes down, inhibitor will fall, and this could well be game for the yoeFW Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, you can all but surrender, I think, in this case. They are pretty far behind at this stage. That second inhibitor will go down. They might even just back away and take themselves a Baron. I mean, there's 10 seconds on Lissandra and Nami for this one. Or, you know, just play it safe, get themselves home. They've got plenty of gold, I suppose. Pretty much everyone's got 2,000 gold to spend. So, yeah, going home now is
they just had to be careful. Obviously, they don't go back a little too quickly, and TPA sneaking a Baron. They just had to make sure they staggered going back there. Dragon is also up, which is where Stake's heading right now. He's just going to hop over the wall and start that one off. He's just going to make sure that it's not started already, actually. Yep, he's still making sure. It's like, it's here somewhere. I can't hit it. Is he going to pull it round? I don't think he caught it there, actually. Boomerang doesn't quite reach.
I think they're worried here that TPA are, in fact, trying to move up towards that Baron. I mean, they've got a pink ward on it anyway, so they'd spot that one coming. Funnily enough, they didn't leave too many wards behind them when they left. Actually, they did. They put 2 in 1 brush on the top side, which I think limited them on the around the Raptor area. But Stake is now going to head back down there and say, okay, Dragon is there. Going to finish him off. That will be the 3rd one of the game for the Flash Wolves. And things slow down slightly. A couple of items on that last back were picked up. Quicksilver Sash, for example, for NL, just to get him out of harm's way. Another needlessly large rod for Maple to be picked up. There is the Dragon finally finished. And it looks like Yoe here, they've got vision of TPA on the top side. They're actually going to go straight into this bottom lane.
Yeah, there's nothing there to stop them, honestly. They're just going to come around, take that down. That will be a easy turret pickup. The 8th one of the game for the yoeFlash Wolves. TPA Assassins, simply spectators in this game, joining the rest of us as the yoeFlash Wolves pulls through. We talked about, you know, in the pick and bans that we thought TPA had responded well. We knew what yoeFlash was going to do. It's a very similar tactic to Game 3, but it seems that they actually didn't have a response, or certainly the one they planned didn't work out, and in goes the Flash Wolves.
Yeah, going to get straight in on top of them from this one. The first man to go down, well, I think would be Wins. There is the ultimate coming out from Morgana, and look at that, he had 3 or 4 in it. I think they all flashed or jumped away from it in the end. Some good damage back actually will come in, and they've managed to get him away, but the inhibitor's gone down. So they've lost the 3rd. Actually, no, top one did respawn, but they're dealing with super minions inside of their main base still at this stage.
Yeah, it's not going to quite be the double super minion spawn they were after, but
that was all right considering, though.
Well, I think it's because Stake went a little too aggressive and ended up eating the tower damage for far too long. That was about really the saving grace I can give them from that one.
Kill for the inhib. 33 minutes into it. This has been a bit strange one, I think, considering you know, the games that we've seen, the pace of other games. Both teams showing that they're a little uneasy. As Yoe now move towards Baron, and that ward literally just timed out in the backside. There's no smite for Wins on Rek'Sai, and there it is, started off. They're nowhere particularly near it. Rek'Sai will come around here, but it needs to be a little bit quicker than this because it's already dropped to less than half HP. There is the ward in the back, cleared out instantly here, or should be. There is Wins diving in. Can he get the steal on it? No, they stop the Baron and they kill the man. Chowie will then be locked up. He will ultimate on himself, which will do decent damage, but Wild Growth I don't think is enough to keep him alive. Double kill for Corki. Yoe can choose now. Do they get Baron, which is still at less than half HP, not fully regenning? Or do they go into the base? They're getting pretty low off that,
yeah, I think they were trolling Maple there, just leaving him in there alone. They all go in, they pick up the Baron, and now, of course, it is very much game on for the yoeFlash Wolves. They have this game in the bag, and now we are looking at a 5th matchup. It's interesting, I was just like looking across the junglers, you know, because obviously we had that opportunity at the start. Wins could have gone for Jarvan. It's a champion that's worked very well for him in the previous 3 matches, but instead he went to Rek'Sai, which has just not worked out. 0-5-4 has not worked his way, whereas you look at Karsa, who has had a ropey 2 Rek'Sai games, ironically is now on Jarvan, and has been in all but 1 of the kills in the entire game. 18 kills participation from him, so it seems that Jarvan, while seemingly the 2nd pick, is doing a much better job, because again, this is what you talked about in the pick and bans, like often you don't get a chance to practice Rek'Sai.
I think that's the case here right now. Probably both teams didn't have the chance to practice their champion, and you can clearly see it. I mean, Wins, that guy pretty much was my MVP vote for the whole tournament until this final, because the way he carried the early game in his team made sure that his team always has like very good farm, very good control of the entire game, and right now he's 0-5, very uncharacteristically here.
Characteristic.
I'm sorry, it's late already. It's late already.
Look, you're German. English is not your first language. I get it. It's a lot. It's a hard word for even the normal English. Characteristic. There we go.
There we go.
See, 101 English. We got this covered, ladies and gentlemen. It is the yoeFlash Wolves pushing in, and the big slams go down from Meganar.
Yeah, one last fight here. I think Wins is going to get locked up. Finish off. Wild Growth was keeping him alive for a while. It's not just you, Dexter, that can't talk right now. We are going to see Lupin. Oh, he got back onto the fountain just in time there. They've got those super minions up in the base though, and they'll be enough to tank this one through. Actually, it's Karsa that's tanking it. I'm not sure he realized there for a while. 2nd Nexus turret will get finished off. There is another binding landing in the end. Morning got a kill, but he did go down. It's an ace for the yoeFlash Wolves, and the game. We're going into the final match here of the grand final of the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei, and you can see the reaction there from the yoeFlash Wolves is a completely different reaction over on the other side. The Taipei Assassins 2-0 up. Looking at game 5, I think you can't be in a worse position mentally.
Dexter talked about it. He's like, once, you know, sometimes in these series, you're 2-0 up, you're coasting it, and suddenly you lose a game that you weren't expecting to lose. And you said, you know, it's 2-1, but it may well be 3-2 because mentally it could just affect you that bad.
Here's the thing: if you're 2-0 up, you start doing like you start playing sloppy if you're not focused. And if that happens and you lose one game, it's like, all right, we got the next game, and then suddenly it's a 2-2, and then it's like, all right, those guys beat us twice in a row, and now all the momentum is with the enemy team.